welcome back for another intense and interesting podcast. I hope you're all doing well. Again, my name is Davina, and I'm here with the beautiful Erica. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I cannot complain. So, yes. Did you have a good week?
I did, actually. It's been busy. Yeah, it's been busy. It's always busy, but yeah, it's been good.
Mom life. Always busy. Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment anymore.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So this week, we want to focus on the topic of archangels and also just spirit angels or helper angels. What would you call them? Like
spirit guides,
angels. Yeah, just those. What do we call them? Our team, our helper teams, or those that come in and help us when we're in need, or at just special moments in our lives whenever we call upon them. And that's actually some things that I want to go over. One, how can we tap into our spiritual side and receive messages, things we can do to communicate, and how to even tell whether you're getting a message or not. So let's start off by pulling or reading the weekly tarot card that I pulled earlier today for the week of the 17th of April to the 23rd of April. So again, I like that crazy. Yeah, already almost the end. We're mid-April. It's so crazy. So again, I like to pull my cards when I am by myself and I have time to really meditate and think about what messages are coming through for not only myself and you, but also the listeners out there, so I can really get a good understanding of what message we are being given for the week. So I'll start off by doing a quick meditation protection so that we can all feel good and no negative energy around us and just stay protected. Very important. So I close my eyes, and archangels, spirit guides, guardian angels, higher power, please protect me and my family, Erica, her family, the listeners and their families. Help keep away negative energies or entities that may, wish to come into our circles, and just keep us engulfed in love and positive energies. Okay, so the tarot card that I pulled for this week is the Six of Swords. If you look at the card, there's...
Wait, didn't you get that one last time?
I don't think so. No, not the Six. It may have been a different...
Oh, okay.
But this one was the Six of Swords.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a different one because the other one was tied to femininity and...
No, the first one. Wasn't it like something piercing through the heart? What was it?
It may have been a sword, but I can't recall when it was. Geez, that's true. We're surrounded by swords.
Exactly. I hope that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it means like emotional
turmoil or
in this case, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. What I got from it is it's a time to face your obstacles, but in the sense that the way it will be easiest for you to get through these obstacles that you may have, whether they're new or they've been dragging on for some time, is to surrender your problems to your angels, your guides, because I think, as many of us know, when you dwell on your situation, a lot of times there's nothing you can really do to make the situation better or resolve it. So instead of, holding on to that energy and just bringing yourself down, your energy gets drained, you just don't feel at peace. try handing it over to our team of guides, angels, spirit guides, anybody who you choose in your circle of spiritual soldiers. Let them take some of the burden, and they're happy to do so. Wouldn't you agree? They're waiting for us to ask for help. But until we ask for them to step in, they usually let us go through our life. Now, that's not to say if we're in danger or, if there's a big situation, they won't step in and help without you asking. I've heard many stories of people who have like almost, like for an example, almost gotten injured in an accident, like a car accident, and an angel stepped in and helped them, and that person didn't know to ask. So there are times when they step in, but for normal day-to-day problems, whether they're big or small, all we have to do is ask for them to come in and help, and they're there for us. So surrender your problems to them so that you can start feeling that joy, and living your life again, and instead of stressing and worrying about it. So.
Well, thank you, because you just answered my prayers.
Did I?
Yeah.
And also another interesting I did get from this, for those of you who are working, employed, there may be some changes at work. And also, I know there are a lot of COVID restrictions still, but you may find yourself having to travel more than you were in the past year. So look out for that. And when it comes to finances, I think you won't find that you have a lot of money to like waste, but you're not going to be suffering for it. You're not going to be in a bad spot. It's just, maybe you recently invested or, put your money into some sort of investment. I don't think you'll be seeing any returns at this time for this week, but be patient. It may come. For love, there may be a little bit of disappointment, but also the travel comes into play here too. If you like to travel, or even if you like hiking as an example, get out and go do something, explore, places you haven't been before. And I think that will help balance you there. Maybe go on a couples trip and you can rebond with your partner, or go at it alone and get some clarity. So that's what I got.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, archangels. I know there are many. During some research I was doing, I wasn't aware there were so many archangels. I guess there are, a set of, I saw 15 as being one number that kept coming up, that are really popular, I guess, or are most,
called upon or whatever.
Yeah. But I did see there were more than 20. So
yeah. I think there's like 22 or 24.
Yeah,
it depends where you look, but yeah, there's a total of that many.
Yeah,
there's a ton.
For sure. So I guess we can start by explaining what archangels are, or what our understanding of archangels. I did see that archangels are leaders in the angel world and are very powerful. So I think they would be like the most powerful of the spiritual soldiers, I'll say, aside from the higher power. They have very high energy. And I did also, and I notated that I wanted to say this, if you're an empath, or you're sensitive to energy, when you call on an archangel, you may feel an energy shift in the room because of how powerful they are. So I think for archangels, you can really feel the energy. Yeah. Versus, if it's a spirit guide, it may not be as intense.
Right. And I can say that that's true in my case, because I don't know if you remember in the first podcast where I told you guys that when I started my spiritual journey, that all the room of people that were there, and then
Yes.
it went to the three. Well, the
Mhm.
room of people um, were not, they were high, like they were spiritual, but they weren't like, the energy between those and the three is completely different.
Mhm.
And within me, I've learned now to this point is, I didn't know then, but now that is my gift, I guess, or that is something that I have, I say, well, a gift. I think we all have that gift to be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to sense things. Some people tap
But it's
into
heightened
more
for
than
you.
others, but for me, that's the height. Like other people can see things, other people can hear
Mhm.
things, audio, sentence. I don't remember what they're all called, but but I am the one where I feel it, and I feel the energy, and I can read a room, and I can. And a lot of people, actually talking to my sister, one of my little sisters, she's like, "Well, that's normal." No, it's not normal. It's normal for
Sounds like
you, and it's
she has a
normal.
little gift as well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
but it's like you think it's normal, or we think it's normal because
Right.
it's something that is within you.
Mhm.
But it's very easy to come into a room, read it, or it's easy to see somebody and read them, and whether good or bad, or if you feel a certain way or not. But going
Right.
back to what you were saying, that you can feel the difference in energy, that's exactly what happened to me way back in the day. I could feel the difference between the room of people versus the
Mhm.
three. The three were way more powerful, and also more like a love, like a
Hmm.
deeper, stronger love. Not to say that the other ones weren't, but it was just stronger,
Yeah.
very, very strong.
And I
So,
remember I remember you saying that you felt like a command of respect or
yes, yes,
yeah.
like
So it's
authority,
authority.
authority. It was
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Authority,
yeah,
respect, and
yeah.
I think those are that's a good way for people to determine or help them, pinpoint or make their best um,
Judgment as to,
judgment as to
mm-hmm,
what exactly they are feeling
mm-hmm,
at that moment. So, a good exercise would be to try calling upon, an archangel of your choice and start noticing or putting intention behind what do you feel around you,
correct.
what kind of presence do you feel around you. And then another time, when while you're on your spiritual journey, I'm sure you'll run into your spirit guides or helper angels, and you may notice or it'll help you feel the different types of energies if you haven't already experienced that.
But just remember, everybody, protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself in your home and everything else.
For sure.
Before doing anything, it doesn't matter what type of, even a meditation, even a prayer, even a whatever, it is very important for you to protect yourself.
For
Not because, to scare you or anything. No, it's just you want only the highest energy. The way I see it, or the way I understood it when I was learning, is see yourself as a beacon of light. And pretty much the way I see it is like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, the X-Men movies, where like the Xavier, is it Xavier, the guy with the mask that puts the mask on, and then he can sense all the other metahumans.
I'm
Well,
not sure.
anyway, well, like that, like there's like a beacon of
Oh, the
light.
professor?
Yeah, the professor.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's his name.
Okay, so just like that, I think people that are going through the process, or are opening up to
Mm-hmm.
connect in that way, when you change your wavelength of, because we're here in the third dimension, and then if you
Mm-hmm.
heighten yourself by doing meditation, prayer, or whatever, I they can see you, those on the other
Mm-hmm.
dimensions or other realms, and I
Yeah.
that's why it's very important for you to protect yourself. So only people that
Mhm.
you want, and that's the highest for everybody, and
Right.
is good, to only come and into your space.
Right.
So,
Also, too, even if you're not too fond of protecting yourself, because I've
mhm,
noticed it does take a little bit of energy to do that. And
mhm,
some people, I think that's why some people choose to bypass it and not do it at all, because it does take a little bit of your energy. You're, you
mhm,
know, putting this protection of energy around you and putting your intention behind it. So naturally, it would take from your energy field.
mhm,
Um, but I think one way to think about it, if you're one of those people who just, feel like you don't have the time, or you feel like, oh, let me just get to the point what I'm trying to
mhm,
do,
mhm,
you can try thinking of it like, okay, this is, step one for me to get the answers, or tap into my spiritual self.
mhm.
So don't look at it as, maybe some of you are
Or,
scared, or,
mhm,
just look at it as, okay, this is the first thing I have to do to turn on
mhm,
that
mhm,
spiritual gift or that spiritual side of yourself.
mhm,
Because a lot of times, like for me, it really helps me when I'm switching from work to, you know, working on my spiritual side, or,
mhm,
before I do a meditation, it's always okay, let me protect myself. And I know you and I, some when we work together, I know we made it kind of like, I don't want to say a challenge, but we would always remind each other, like, did you protect yourself? And don't forget to protect
mhm,
yourself.
mhm.
So maybe make a pact with your friend, and say, hey, would you mind reminding me to protect myself? And I'll do the same for you. That way, it's just a reminder, because it does take some getting used to
Used
get
to
in
it.
the habit and the flow
Mhm.
of, making that the first thing you do. So you're
Or
right.
even if you like put it in your calendar in your as
Very
when your
true.
alarm goes off, and that's
Very
the first
true.
thing that you do, make it like a routine so you're protected all day.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. I agree. I agree. So with archangels, there's, this set, or there's a set of 20, a lot of 22, let's just say, of these of these archangels, and they're shared amongst everybody
Right.
in the
Right.
world. And that's something a little different, because like with your guardian angels, I
Mhm.
think they're exclusively for you.
Yes.
um I'm not saying it wouldn't be the case that, um, one guardian angel wouldn't be helping out somebody else. For example, I'm, worrying about my son. So my guardian angel comes, helps make me feel leveled and grounded. And then maybe they'll go check on my son and say, okay, let me try to calm him down. So it's not
Mhm.
saying that they don't, cross between people, but I think it's very different from the archangels.
Mhm.
Uh, they're shared amongst everybody.
From my understanding, is the archangel, or I'm sorry, the guardian angels, they're preset for
Mhm.
you since the day you're born, and
Yes.
they're with you your entire life until the day that you pass.
Yes.
So it's usually there's two, but there could be more.
Mhm.
They say sometimes that the more you tap into your spirituality and the more you call upon them, like the more you get, like the more, because you do get connected.
Mhm.
So so they are assigned, uh and they are with you, and like you said, the only time, or not to say that they're not going to be shared in, like when they have to intervene in a certain circumstance, or what I have heard too is that they pretty much, the archangels communicate amongst each other, like, hey, can you help here or whatever. With So in your case, like with your son, hey, can you please help in calming down the child so she can get better or whatever. It's like a
Right.
team. It's a
Like
team.
a
So
team. You're very
and
right.
and that's my understanding, and it's very different because guardian angels are not, if you want to talk about hierarchy, they're below the
Mhm.
archangels.
Right.
So, and
Right.
archangels have never uh been humans, or they've never been human in this world on earth
Mhm.
or whatever, so they've never had a human life.
Right, right.
Hmm.
And that one, another interesting type of angel, a helper angel. I found this interesting. So they're kind of like these angel helpers that just roam around. I mean, I'm saying it like if they're cattle walking around, but I don't mean that. It's like they are here. just looking for certain people, who are in a situation that may need help. But they're not necessarily tied to you throughout your life. So they just hop in and out of different people's lives.
Yeah, and because they are heightened beings, I guess you could say that, the laws of physics doesn't apply to them, to where, hey, they're with Davina right now, and some people may feel like, oh, or they're doing like these godly assignments, which they are. But if you call upon them, you're not taking them away from that, because they are capable of being in multiple places at the same time.
Right.
Because it's, for our human mind, it's hard to digest that information. Even now, to me, it's like, if I really start thinking about it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so much,
Right.
mind blowing. But the laws of physics doesn't they don't really apply.
So like time and space, it's not the same for them as it is for us.
No, it does not. It's not existent. So I do know that the archangels do oversee the guardian angels, because they're a level up, and they're usually larger, stronger, and more powerful. So I don't know if maybe the three angels, I'm gonna call them angels because that's what I thought it were. They were totally different from the other people. So I don't know if those were guardian angels, the three that were in the corner, and but I don't think so. I think they were more like archangels.
Right.
And I'll give you a story later on the podcast of why, or how do I know the difference. But,
right. And whenever I think of guardian angels, archangels, helper angels, I think of, you remember Rebecca Fearing?
Yes.
She's a well-known psychic medium, and she used to have a podcast, Dancing with Ghosts, and I absolutely loved that.
Does she not have it anymore?
I don't know. I haven't been able to find it. Maybe she moved from, what was she, LA Talk Radio? Yeah, I don't think she's there anymore, but I haven't been able to find her. So maybe she's focusing on readings at the moment, because she's fantastic at readings.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah, but I remember her sharing a story, and since she shared it live on air, I'll go ahead and repeat it. She actually was in a car accident a long time ago, and she ended up, I think she ejected from the vehicle, but it wasn't like a big, huge scene where she flew through the windshield or anything. It's just she ejected from the car, and she landed on her butt on the road with not one scratch. How does that happen? But her car was totaled.
I know.
So she actually mentioned that she really feels like her guardian angels were there helping her. So it's those kind of special cases where, it's like unbelievable, some might even say miracles, where you can almost guarantee that either your archangels, guardian angels, helper angels, whatever, spirit guides, actually I don't think spirit guides, but maybe, were involved with help at that moment.
A higher power was there.
Higher power. For sure. And while I was doing some research, for another podcast, I found it interesting, for, not only do we have these angels helping out, but we have, spirit animals, and then possibly ascended masters, and even the people that, were once on this earth with us, but who have passed away. So we have this huge team of people. Yes, watching over us.
Yes.
And it's so funny. It reminds me of this book that I have called "Do Dead People Watch a Shower?" Because it kind of does. Sometimes you feel alone, and it's like you are not alone. You always have this team behind you. And I mean, the purpose of that book was just to put like a funniness to humor to the situation. If you want to know the answer, as they said in that book, the answer was yes, but they're not there specifically looking at you shower, and they don't even have the same type of like sexual energy towards the situation. It's like, oh, a naked body is a naked body. They don't have any like sexual feelings towards it. It's nothing to worry about if you believe that.
Yeah.
So if we can get into the different types of archangels,
Yeah, definitely.
that, we find to be very interesting and helpful for everybody, I think that would be cool. And I did find, the 12 that are connected to the zodiac signs. So, possibly you may feel a connection to them a little more strongly, or maybe they can just help you in times of need. I'll go ahead and share those with you as we go down the list.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So, I'll start with Aries. So any Aries out there, or if you have a loved one who is an Aries and maybe you're having challenges with that person, you can call on Archangel Ariel.
Oh.
And I found that Ariel is connected to nature and Mother Earth. If you want to deepen your connection with Earth and nature, you'll want to call on Ariel, Archangel Ariel. It's also connected to plants and animals. So, if you're having trouble with your pet, maybe call on Ariel to help, Archangel Ariel to help. Also for manifestations and abundance, it'd be good to call upon Archangel Ariel to help you while you're manifesting. And they are connected to light green, the color
Light green.
Light green. And I know when we used to do our meditations at lunchtime, or quick meditations around our break time, didn't you see light green a lot?
I did. Yeah, one of the times when I was really opening up, I was doing my hair at home actually, and I did a lot of testing. Like, okay, I want to be able, and actually, it was my aura at that time. I was like, I want to see my aura, and I was doing my hair, and you know how you have the little flyaways that never want to be put. So, I started doing my makeup. So I had done my hair. I was sitting in the toilet because that's where I sit to do my makeup. I was sitting on the toilet and on the mirror, I was doing my makeup, and all of a sudden, from the flyaways, I see like this little strand, like thread, if you want to say, of green, but it was green mixed with gold. And I was like, I second guessed it. I was like, wait, what? And I stared at it, and I'm pretty sure I was making all these faces like, huh? At the time, and I couldn't believe it myself. I was like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Mm-hmm. So then I took it off and I tried it again, and by then I didn't see it anymore. But it was amazing, and it was a color that I had never seen in my life before. The only time that I saw it again, something that was similar, in that movie, I'm terrible at movies, but it was based on a true story of this little boy that he saw God, or he had like an accident. It's based on a true story. Yeah. He had an accident. Anyways, at the end of that story or that movie, there's this little girl that she started drawing when she was 8 or 7, and she's from Europe somewhere, I think. And she draws Jesus, how she saw him ever since she was little. And that color green is the color green that I was seeing in my, like, coming out of my hair.
Wow. I completely remember. I totally remember you
that day
saying that story with the light green coming out. Yeah, I remember that.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. So, again, Archangel Ariel is tied to Aries. Next, for Capricorn, you have Archangel Azrael. Azrael translates to whom God helps. And that's actually the archangel of death. He helps souls cross over at the moment of death, and consoles family and friends who are left grieving here. So if you're ever in that unfortunate situation, you'll want to call on Azrael. Okay. Next for Taurus, Chamuel. Chamuel? Is that who he's? Chamuel?
Chamuel. That's how I would say it.
Chamuel. He who sees God translates to. He is the bringer of inner peace during troubling times, and also universal peace. One thing I found interesting, well, not one, but one of many, he's considered the helping or the finding angel. So if you lose something, call on Chamuel.
Also, he helps with new love relationships, new friends, new jobs, lost items, like you said, and also with any misunderstanding at work or at home. So if there's any sticky situations like those, if you call upon Chamuel, he will be able to assist.
Yes. So for Gemini, there's Zadkiel. These are all very unique names. Zadkiel. Zadkiel. And it translates to righteousness of God. He helps with true forgiveness. So, you know, if you're finding that you need help, you know, tapping into your compassionate side, or to get past troubling memories, you'll want to call on Zadkiel for help. Next would be for Libras. Libras, Jophiel is the archangel for you, and I'm a Libra. So Jophiel and I will be having some chat time soon. Yes. Jophiel will have a long list of things I need to discuss. So that translates to beauty of God. They can help you beautify your life, uplift your thoughts and feelings. So if you find yourself down or sad or just in those nasty moods, you can call on Jophiel to help uplift your spirit. And they also guide you to self-care. So, you know, if you're feeling like you need a change, a physical change to make yourself feel better, Jophiel, call on Jophiel, and they will lead you to the best self-care for you at that moment. And also you can call Jophiel if you need clarity. So if you're like just jumbled up in your mind and you can't really think straight, so you need clarity, call Jophiel.
Also, too, for those of you that like doing interior design in your home, Jophiel is really good at decluttering, helping you feng shui your house, your space, your office, whatever. So, and declutter.
Don't they doesn't Jophiel have the nickname the feng shui angel?
I don't know. I've never heard of that. Maybe. Very possible.
Yeah. The feng shui angel. Nickname for Jophiel. So for Scorpios out there, the archangel who I guess rules over your sign is Jeremiel. Jeremiel? Yes, Jeremiel. Which translates to mercy of God. And Jeremiel helps souls who have recently died or crossed over, passed. You know, he just helps them go through, you know, the depending on your beliefs, but go through the process after you realize that you've crossed over. So like going through your life, you know, moments and all of that good stuff. And also, he is a good archangel to call, a good soldier for you to call if you have fears of death. So let's say you're sick, or you know, a family member sick, or you just always had it in your mind, this fear of death, and you want to get rid of that, you can call Jeremiel and ask him to help you release that fear of death, and I can almost guarantee you that it will go away. or at least it'll lessen with time and patience. Yeah. So
Another thing that I'd like to add to that one is that he's also, if you're feeling stuck spiritually, he's the one to call to get you unstuck, I guess, and regain enthusiasm about your spiritual or divine mission. And he also provides comfort for emotional healing and for forgiveness issues. So if there's that something that you are having trouble forgiving, he's very good at calling. He's a good one to call upon if you're having that issue of forgiveness.
So it sounds like fear equals Jeremiel.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good point. Now this next one for Virgo, connected to Virgo, it has to be the coolest name ever. Metatron. Kind of sounds like a transformer.
Exactly. There is one called Metatron, I think.
Yeah. Is there really?
Yeah,
I wonder where they got the name from. So Metatron, he uses sacred energy tools for healing and cleansing low energies. He's also the helper of sensitive children and those new to spirituality. So for those of you out there who are just beginning your spiritual journey, it would be a good idea to call upon Archangel Metatron just to help you. Maybe it's find topics that will help you grow, and he can help lead you to maybe articles or, give you information, as long as you're receptive and open to receiving those tips or that information from him.
Another thing that I found interesting when I saw Metatron, which I had never heard of that one, but
it was a new one for me too.
Yeah, for me. I heard it when I was going through reading the book that Angels, the Archangels from During Virtue. So that he is one of the two archangels who once walked upon the earth as a man, as the prophet Enoch. I don't know if that's how you say it, but
Enoch, the book of Enoch.
Okay, that one. And he works closely with Mother Mary to help children, and specifically for indigo and crystal children. It helps them with their gifts and how to progress with school and the earthly stuff.
Just how to deal with those gifts.
Home and other aspects of like how to deal with all that stuff. You know how those crystal and indigo children are a little, they're gifted, so they're extra sensitive. Sure.
For sure. So then there were two brothers, right, who were once, I guess, on this earth, who descended on to be, or ascended on to be archangels. So it would be Metatron, and then, was it Sandalphon? Sandalphon?
I have no idea.
I think so. There was another one. I think it was Sandalphon, but.
Oh, okay.
So next on the list would be for Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, the archangel who's connected to your sign is Raphael.
Sorry, pause. Yes, it is Sandalphon.
It is, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
So Raphael can help you create peace and harmony by healing arguments and misunderstandings. So let's say a good tip here, if you know you're going to have maybe a very heated or intense conversation with someone, and you want to, make it as healing and harmonious as possible, call Raphael to help you find the words or, just mediate. So especially like with family or, large groups of people where, there are a lot of personalities there. Even if it's just to keep you calm, I think Raphael is a good source to have on your side.
And also too, for physical healing, if there's illnesses within yourself or somebody else, Raphael is a good person or archangel to call upon for healing. Also to he helps with healing work. It includes education or even building your private practice if you're into healing, massage,
Ah,
therapy, or anything that has to do with the healing arts, Reiki. He is
mhm.
one to call upon to help you release or help that person release their ailments. And also, he aids those who are traveling. I didn't know that about. Yeah.
I didn't
So
know that.
whenever you're traveling, call upon Raphael for a harmonious and safe journey to wherever it is
Mhm.
that you're going. So.
Well, that makes sense
Mhm.
because, I mean, not all the time if you're traveling alone in a car, but let's say you're traveling by airplane. There are a lot of people on that plane, and sometimes you'll need a little help keeping your composure and not, different personalities. You have to stay
Yes.
grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good tip. Now, next for Leo, the archangel tied to your sign is Raziel, which translates to secrets of God. And he um, is the keeper of divine secrets and supreme knowledge of the soul. Um, so he can help bring knowledge and um, help guide each soul to their destiny. Also, when you feel like you are, once you get a little more advanced into your spirituality and, you're more comfortable with it and you have a good grasp on it, and you can really call Raziel when you know you are functioning from your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your, regular self and then your higher self, um, who kind of is unbiased and can really see the true picture. I know it's hard to tap into that higher self, but again, once you get more in tune with your spirituality and knowing yourself and accepting all of your, flaws and all of your gifts, I think you're able to tap into the higher self more because there's no longer that ego
Mm-hmm.
involved. So, Raziel is a good archangel. So for Pisces, this would be Sandalphon, who's
Mm-hmm.
the twin brother, or I don't know if they were twins. I think they were twins, who was also once a living soul and transcended and is now an archangel. Literally, the name translates to brother. Brother.
Mm-hmm.
And Sandalphon delivers our prayers and hears us out when we're actually praying. He also helps musicians or composers with music. Um, and a good tip that I found is that if you do choose to bring Sandalphon into your, let's just say, meditations, or call upon him to help you with a certain situation, you can pay attention to song lyrics
Mm-hmm.
because it's possible that, because he does kind of rule in the music world, you can get your answers there, even when, if it's a random song that, or one that you heard many times and just when a part of the song jumps out at you, and it helps you answer your question. I think it's good to pay attention to that.
Awesome.
So next for Aquarius, Uriel is the archangel who rules your sign. Translates to light of God. And this is the intellectual angel. He can manifest in the form of ideas or epiphanies. You know how sometimes you're just
Mm-hmm.
going about your day thinking about something and you get this big idea, or, this aha moment. Um, I wouldn't doubt it if it was sent to you by Uriel, which is very funny because we have a close friend, both Erica and I, who has a grandson named Uriel, and he's
Mm-hmm.
very intelligent.
Oh,
So I
yes.
find that funny that he's named after this archangel who is known for this intelligence, and this kid is super smart.
very mature for his age.
Yes,
Very.
very mature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Emotionally and physically, I would say.
Yeah. Intellectually as well.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
So for Cancer, the archangel who rules your sign is Gabriel. Um, he is the strength of God and helps with important messages and choosing the right words. So again, maybe you can do a combination between Gabriel and who was it? It was Gabriel and Raziel. Was it Raziel? Protection,
Or
understanding. No, and Raphael. So you can do
Raphael.
a combination, Gabriel and Raphael, if you want to find the right words and you want to help create peace and harmony when you know you have to, have a difficult conversation with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's also the protector of your inner child. And Erica, for us, this is a good tip. He can assist in all stages of parenting.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna put that name in a little box
Every
here and from that. Yeah. So there's also Haniel, who's not tied to any zodiac sign, but
Mhm.
Haniel is the archangel of intuition, divine femininity, and joy. They can help lead you to your goals, or he can help lead you to your goals.
They also this one I would like to mention that um when you're trying to like um like to be the embodiment of grace, like show up graceful to a
Mm-hmm.
situation, it's one to call upon. For example, like interviewing for a job, first date, um, important presentation at work, you know. I guess for one, like for me, I'm not a very good public speaker, even in front of people, even if I know them. It depends how large of a group it is. Like helping you center yourself and be graceful about the
Mm-hmm.
information that you're about to give. So,
Yes.
mhm.
Yes. And the last one on my list, not the last archangel of them all, but the last one I want to focus on today, Michael, Archangel Michael, who's well known. He's a healing and a protection angel. He can help you find your inner power. So if you're struggling to have like that voice, a stronger voice, you want to be seen more authoritative or just have a stronger presence, I think Michael can help you find that inner strength.
Also for personal safety, he is one
Mm.
to
Mhm.
call upon. If you ever feel like you're afraid or confused about personal
Mhm.
safety, or even heavenly purpose,
Mhm.
or making necessary life changes, he is one to
Mhm.
um, call upon. One thing that I wanted, this is a story that I said earlier in the
Oh,
podcast
yes,
that
yes.
happened. I It's really difficult, at least for me, to remember
Mhm.
what every single angel is all about. I know like the more common ones like Gabriel, Uriel, Michael,
Mhm.
Raphael. But these other ones, I mean, to try to remember, I mean, you can if you really devote yourself into trying to remember. But what I
Mhm.
usually do, because it was really hard for me to remember who was what, I would just call Archangel, come to me now, whenever I was needing something. And I knew that whoever was more appropriate for that situation
Mhm.
would come in. The one that I do know for a fact are the four that I just mentioned. So I knew Michael was a protector, and if ever I felt in fear, that he was one to call upon whenever I was
Mhm.
fearful. Well, we purchased the house, and before we moved in, we remodeled it before moving in. And I was by myself in that house that one time, and I was painting. I was finishing up painting. It got dark. It was like already like dusk. So I started turning
Mhm.
everything off, all the lights, to head home. And all of a sudden, from the I turn off the light in the hallway, And
Mhm.
I turned off the light, and then I turned around to walk out of, it was like a little hallway, and then it's like open living room, dining room, and kitchen. So I was coming out of that little hallway to go towards the dining area.
Okay.
And like I told you guys, I learned that I have the capability of knowing um, not only living beings, but even beings that have passed. I
Mm-hmm.
can sense when somebody comes into my space. And it's like if I could see them as if I'm seeing Davina, for example. And how I do that, I have no idea, but I can tell you who it is, how they look like, if it's a masculine, feminine, or if it's a man, female, the energy that they bring in, and a lot. And it's in a split second. So, okay, so I turned around, turned the light off, turned around, and as soon as I turned around, I saw, I'm not saying physically, but in my third eye, I guess, if you want to say, a man. And he was tall. He was walking from, if you want to say, he was walking from right to left. He was coming from the living room area going towards the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I startled him as well because he's like, "What? You could see me?" Sort of like that. He kind of paused because he was walking this way and then turned around to see me and then paused, like, "Wait, you could see me?" And all this is happening third eye, okay? Don't think that I can see this person physically. So he shocked me. I like when somebody all of a sudden you're not expecting them like living person physically. That's the same
Right.
reaction I had. So I was like, oh my gosh. And he had, oh my gosh. But he started like um like charging towards me. And I don't want to say charging like running, but he started walking fast towards me and that scared me.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't bad, but he wasn't of the highest energy. He seemed
Okay.
like he was confused. He seemed like he was lost. He seemed like, I don't know why, but I felt like, okay, he is somebody that like had been in a lot of trouble with the
Mm-hmm.
law and stuff like that. So that's the
He was
impression I
struggling.
got. Uh-huh. And so he started coming towards me, and in that instant, my thing to do is I froze. That's my natural reaction to everything. When I'm scared, I freeze. So I froze and I closed my eyes, and I remember I don't even remember if I said it out loud or if in my mind, but I said, Archangel Michael, like really fast, please come to me now. And that's all I said. And all of a sudden, I felt this rush of energy. Kid you not, I closed my eyes because I got scared. Coming from my head, I felt every single fiber, and me living it, it's like, oh, giving me goosebumps. Um, from my head, like even every
Mm-hmm.
single follicle of my hair, all the way down to my toes, even like my toenails. I've never
Wow.
felt something like that. And it was like a wash of energy starting from head all the way
Mm-hmm.
to toe. And then it was more like a, like that. That's how it felt.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, a peace again, like I was woken up way back in the day, that same peace. A peace that, like, "Oh, okay." To the point that, okay, that happened. I felt peace. I felt safe. And then I went and turned off every single light, walked in a very dark room. Who the hell would do that after
Yeah,
doing
not
that?
many
You
people.
know, I would have never done that myself.
That's how peaceful you felt.
Yes, I felt, and I instantly, that energy, I knew that person or that being wasn't here anymore. He was taken away.
Mhm.
So that's my connection with Michael, is that you can sense it. I've never ever had an experience like that again, but I can tell that if it wasn't Michael, it was somebody else, one of the archangels, but it was a sensation, and he took that entity away and helped them cross over if that's what he needed. But never again did I feel that, and that person never, or that entity was never, or that being was never here in this home ever again. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was
Amazing.
pretty interesting. It was
So he
that
came
that was
to he came to help you when you asked for help, and
yeah,
you
and
had to.
that's
Yeah.
what I've learned, or I learned in learning about archangels, that whenever you
Mm-hmm.
feel the need, um I'm not saying that you're going to have that feeling all the time, because it was just an instant, like you were saying earlier. It's like sometimes you're going to feel like there's, in major situations, you're going to really, really feel them. And others are just going to be like quietly working in the background. So just know that they are there. And instantly, it was seconds from where the hallway where I was at. It was like like 8 feet away from me. So it wasn't even that long of a walk, if you really think about it. So.
And honestly, people, use common sense. Don't call the archangels if you're being too lazy to get up and change the channel and you're praying to these archangels. Please, Archangel Michael, help me change this channel. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll work for you. It's never worked for me. But so just, there's it doesn't have to be some big situation, but again, be realistic about it. I would say. And by the way, the what is it, the not tool, but the gift you have is claircognizance.
Oh, is that what it's called?
So
that's a
claircognition or claircognizance. It's about having intense gut feelings and using that information to guide you. So that's what you have. There's also clairvoyance, which is seeing, which I have had many times. And then there's clairaudience, which is hearing. And then the last one would be clairsentience, just a feeling of knowing, like a sense of knowing. I think you have that too.
Yeah. The visual one, only a little bit here and there, but not strong like you per se. You're that.
Oh, I've seen them many times.
Yeah.
Even in the daytime, I've even seen being literally formed right in front of my eyes in daylight, in a room full of my sisters. So
that's very interesting.
I have lots of stories. That'll be for another podcast. But yes, I just wanted to share that with you. Your main gift, I would say, would be claircognizance.
Claircognizance. I have to remember that.
So, okay, we've gone through, some of the major archangels that, we wanted to share today. No offense to the other ones we didn't mention. Maybe another podcast will bring you in. Yeah, don't be mad at us. This is only an hour podcast. Sorry. So, now that we've kind of given a little bit of, a guide to which archangels would be best for you to call during specific times of your life or situations, let's talk about the different ways to get these messages. Of course, number one, you have to, ask for the help, like we discussed. You can't just, expect. Yes, they may come, but you really need to get in the habit of asking them to help, like Erica did. When she felt so fearful, she called for, our protector archangel to come and help, and her situation was resolved. So ask. I think you also have to be present. So your awareness, so that way you can pick up on the signs, because if you're not present and you have your mind in different places, you're not going to get those messages. So work on.
Yes, one thing I wanted to mention is too that because we have free will, they can't just come in and out of our lives without being asked to come into our lives. So it is very important that if you do want that guidance or you do want that help, for you to actually call upon them, because a lot of times, like Davina had mentioned earlier, unless it's like a life-threatening situation, they will jump in sometimes. But for the most part, they wait for you to say, hey, I need help, and then they come in and help.
For sure. You can start journaling.
Journaling is an awesome tool.
It is. It is.
Awesome.
Not only is it therapeutic, but I think, what is it called? Not is it automatic writing? Is that
Uh-huh.
what it's called?
Automatic writing.
Yeah, I think it's really a good tool.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Erica, you had done that for a while, right? I
Mm-hmm.
never
Mm-hmm.
really fully got into it. I know I would write like uh what is it called? Gratitude journal.
Mm-hmm.
That really got into writing down at least three things that I'm thankful for, and I was able to do that for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I should get back into that now that I'm thinking about it. But, you know, a lot of times when you write things out and you call upon archangels or, you know, spirit guides, whoever you feel, maybe all of them, you know, I think if you just write what information comes to mind and then you go back and reread it, you may find that your answers are there written out.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you don't even remember writing it out. It's like that message came to you from, you know, a divine source and is giving you the answer that you asked for.
Absolutely. And it's very
Hmm.
interesting to be able to read back. Sometimes it's like,
Hmm.
wait, I wrote that, you know, and it's very, don't expect it to be, it's kind of poetic in a way, I would
Hmm.
say, to where it gives you the answers, but in a way to where you still have to, it gives you free will. So it says it gives you like a guidance, more or less. It's not like, yes, you are going to win $1 million. You know, it's not like that. It's more
Yeah.
like it's a guide to where, okay, this is what your options are, and it's pretty awesome because it's more like that. It's like this is the pathway. If you go this way, this is going to be your outcome. If you go this way, this is potentially your, I should say potentially, because you could change it.
Yeah.
And
So, like, for example, if you're having financial troubles or you're just trying to find a path towards financial stability and you are doing your automatic writing or journaling
mhm,
with the intention of calling your archangels, your soldiers, divine soldiers, and you start journaling or writing with that topic in mind, you know, it may lead you to, you know, maybe you've always wanted to write a book and you forgot about it.
mhm,
Maybe you wanted to start doing tarot readings and it just, you know, came to mind while you're writing. So it's little bits of information like that. Like Erica said, it's not that they're saying, "Oh, here are the winning lottery numbers," or you know, maybe that will come out, but who knows? Maybe they will. But you know, so those are the kinds of answers that you
mhm,
will be receiving.
mhm,
It's like guidance to how you can get to what you're asking for or
mhm.
resolve a situation that you're asking for.
And two, you did make a good point. Before starting, you wanna write your intention for that
Hmm.
session, I guess I would say. Sit,
Hmm.
meditate, pray, whatever it is that you feel comfortable
Hmm.
doing. Clear your mind, and then sort of the way I would do it is sort of in school. You know how you would put the title on top of the page. So that's what I would do. Like my question or my concern or my what I need help with, I would put it on top, and then from there on, I would just start writing. And the way it worked for me is I would start like questions like, okay, this is how I feel, or my question is blah 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 blah, and I would just start writing all my feelings down. And all of a sudden, automatically, it would start going to some other topic on its own,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I would just continue until I felt like okay, at a stopping point, and then I would close it out with thank you so much for helping me, and then I would go back and reread it, and that's when you get your messages, I guess, or your
Right.
guidance.
Right. And I think a tip for some people out there, if you get stuck, um, you know, on your thought,
Mm-hmm.
instead of pausing, a good tip is to have like a word, a pause word, so that you just keep writing that word, even if it's so. You keep writing so until the next thought comes to mind, and then you finish your thought or you come across your new thought.
I even put like, okay, I'm stuck. I'm not in my in my zone anymore. I need to get back in my zone. You know, whatever,
Yeah.
everything
Right.
that comes to mind,
Mhm.
And sometimes it's kind of funny, like to think, oh my gosh, all this comes into my mind. I think
If
I'm
you
kind of
think
crazy.
about it, yeah. If nothing else, if you don't get your answer, at least you'll get a laugh later. Like, what the heck was I writing?
I need some help.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so another tip is get to know your guides and maybe give them names. Even if it's you feeling like you're guessing their name, it these guides that you have aren't necessarily tied to a name. So it's kind of like, Erica, your name's Erica. You were born with that name, or your mom gave you that name when you were born. But if I chose to call you Bunny, you would accept that name. And if, the more I say it, it's like, oh yeah, she calls me Bunny, So it can be their nickname. It doesn't have to be like you may not necessarily get a definite answer. It's by you naming them. Well, that's their name. So, meditate on it. Maybe they'll come to you in your dreams. However, the messages come. But yeah, try to, keep note of who you have coming into your circle, which divine spirits or spirits you have coming into your life, and then maybe think on, what's their name, and a name will come to you. That way you get more of a personal connection to them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And like we had mentioned earlier, remember to surrender your problems to them. They want to help. It's not a burden. They want to help.
They are waiting to be asked for help.
Learn more about messages given to you. That was just a quick little thing that I wrote. And what I mean by that is, if you get a thought in your head and, maybe you asked a question and, a word came into your head, start doing research. Look into these things, because a lot of times when you're researching something, you come across different types, different things, so it leads you down a path. It doesn't necessarily have to stay on that subject, but if you start doing research and really looking into the messages you feel that you're getting, I mean, you'll be amazed at where it'll take you and what information you'll get.
And also, don't be so stuck or tied to a certain outcome. Like, oh, I'm supposed to receive messages this way, because they come in so many different platforms. For example, me, it's a lot with numbers, a lot of repeating numbers, like 111, 444s, 222s, or maybe just 22. A lot of times it's like, oh, I glanced at my clock and I see a specific, like 1111, and then later on I see it again and it says 111 again. I stopped at 1111, whatever I was listening to. It's those repeating numbers that you want to pay attention to, because a lot of times that's how they are communicating. And if you want to know, oh well, what do those numbers mean, you can Google it. Just put angel meaning of number whatever it is that you're trying to find, and it gives you a description of what it is. So that's one way. Another one is license plates. A lot of times it's music, like Davina had mentioned. There's a ton of ways that you get information.
They may even send opportunities or people your way. So you're worried about your finances, and then all of a sudden, you meet somebody who just so happens, you overhear them saying, oh yeah, my company, they're hiring right now. It could be something like that. Or synchronicities, like you're thinking, oh, how am I going to get this water heater fixed? And then you see a company who repairs water heaters, or they, install water heaters, drive by. It's like things like that happen all the time. It's just, are you open to receiving the messages?
I guess bottom line, we and it's hard because we're so busy,
Mm-hmm.
and of our minds is scattered between 1,000 things, but is being grounded and centered. If you're grounded and centered, if you get into the habit of grounding yourself every morning, you tend to not be as scatterbrained, and you tend to not be so you're able to see things that come to you in that way.
Yeah. It also puts you in a good mood all day.
And you
Maybe
make
not
better
all day, but
decisions. Yeah, and you make
yeah.
better decisions. You
Yep.
feel more calm. At least for me, I feel more calm, and
Definitely.
my
Definitely.
things go the right way they should, and it's even kill the whole day. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Um, they may communicate with you through thoughts. So
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to your thoughts. Any random thought that comes to mind, I would not, push it aside. Maybe even use the notes on your notes app on your phone. Have a note open for
Mm-hmm.
random thoughts that come your way, and then later when you get some downtime, you can look into, oh, okay, I got these messages through the day or these thoughts through the day, and then you can start, really looking into that. Also, divination tools like tarot cards, angel cards, trust your vibe cards,
Mm-hmm.
those type of things can help give you answers that you need. Yes. So thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this topic. I know we did, and it really did give me a refresher course and also introduced me to a lot of archangels that I wasn't even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll definitely be using them, for guidance and help. And I hope you find it interesting as well. So find us, like us on Facebook, Instagram. Facebook, we are Passage Heart. On Instagram, Passage to Your Heart. Also on YouTube.
Awesome. One thing I did want to mention, I will be posting the books that we've been talking about or that we've read, for in case you guys want to extend your research or even dive deeper into. There's a ton of information out there, like we've said before, but some of them I will mention. Is the ones that I have and I refer back to all the time are the Angel Numbers 101. That's from Doreen Virtue. These 3 books are from her. The Angel Therapy and How to Hear Your Angels. And this one for sure helped me a lot to open up and how to connect with the archangels and or the guides.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to mention is that Doreen Virtue recently, I don't know, a couple years ago, she has converted to Christianity. So she no longer practices what she used to with the archangels, which is perfectly fine. So if you find information out there that does show otherwise, I've used them. I like them. I keep on using them. They've helped me a lot. It's up to you. Each person take whatever you like with you and go with it, or find other people that are connected to you. These are the people that connected to us, which is why we just share them with you guys. Another person
Yes.
that I have is Carrie Samuels. I purchased a program where it's calling in your abundance angels. It's pretty much for 28 days. Every day she sends you like a meditation. They're 8 to 12 minutes apart or long.
Ooh.
Yes, and it's a topic. So she does Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. And
Mm-hmm.
it helps from relationship, from letting go of stuff that you feel stuck with. And
Mm.
I found it very, very helpful and I love it. So I will post all that information in the link below. And so you guys can use it if you like.
Okay. And as always, if there's a topic that you would like to hear us discuss, or even if you just have a comment on something, we've discussed or have any questions about what we've talked about, feel free to, on Instagram, DM us, Facebook, send us a message, comment on our videos, on our posts, and we'll be more than happy to address that. And we'll put any suggestions on our list of possible future podcasts. That would actually be really cool. Also, if you have any stories you want to share about an experience with spirit guide or archangel or anything in general, we're just interested in hearing about everything. Feel free to share that with us. If you want it to be personal, let us know. Please don't share, and we'll just read it and comment back to you.
Anonymously. Yes.
Yes, anonymously.
So now I have the angel card that I pulled for today.
Oh, yes.
And
I'm so sorry. Yes.
that's okay. And it was the Queen of Water, and it was upside down once again. Just to remind everybody, whenever a card is upside down, it means that you have to pay extra attention to. It's something like a message that we really need to see. And pretty much what it says, it's the tender-hearted, empathic, patient, and loving. This is what this card is all about. And
And
it's tied to relationships, develop to a new level, trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. And a deeper explanation of this, if you have a situation, it
mhm.
says emotional issues or relationships with others evolve to a new level. Even if things aren't perfect, there's a sense of peace and calm within you, and you intuitively know what to do next. Your feelings for and insights about others can be trusted. Make sure that as you nurture those around you, you don't forget to also care for yourself. Very important. Now, if it's for people, a person of deep but mature emotions, able to sense what others need and lovingly provide it. An intuitive or psychic person who trusts his or her perceptions and uses them to navigate the physical world successfully. Tender-hearted, empathic, patient, generous, gentle, unconditionally accepting of others. Additional meaning is patron of the arts, love for family and home, a dear and reliable friend, great creative talent.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love that one. What was it? It was the Queen of
Queen,
Water?
Queen of Water.
Queen of Water.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you everybody for joining us again.
Yeah, thank
Blessings
you.
to everybody. Let your mind be open. Embrace change and keep growing. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.